Hi Sojourners, Talking Joe's here again. Hi guys, welcome back to the Talking Joe podcast. How have you been? It's been a while. Now I know I said the whole thing of doing better, but February was a lot for me. February was quite busy, very busy, right? Weirdly so. I thought I had time and then just got that happened. Then I said, you know what, let's be back fully, and we're back fully. So how have you been? How was the month for you? I know that February has a central theme worldwide. It was the month of love. Now, it was the month of love in all circles. Secular, Christian, whatever. I mean, all circles that decided to discuss it. It was a month of love for the world. February 14th is just a day that does not even exist. Just for existing sake. It exists, for a reason, right? So, how have you been? How was February for you? Now, my church did an entire love teaching theme this month. So guys, I had to roll my eyes a lot. In fact, side gist, there were 2 Sundays where couples were told to lead opening prayer, lead announcements, lead closing prayer and benediction, and I'm like, this is unnecessary. But I kid you not, it's kind of unnecessary, but it was also very romantic in a sweet way. I mean, once in a while, the single people should know what love looks like, right? And I say the single people like I'm not one of them. But what if I stopped here? Right? So February was just a month that had the theme of love everywhere, right? We had that whole thing about church teaching love. But this year, the teachings were more like how to find, as much as it was, how to do properly in terms of emotional management, emotional control, emotional management. And I wouldn't lie, I loved the teachings. In fact, the very first teaching started the last Wednesday in January. So we said February started early. So you had all sermons on emotional management and all. They were great sermons, right? It was interesting because I found out some new revelations of myself. So there is something that psychologists advise. It's called a test. It's a psychological attachment test. Yeah, it tells you the type of attachment personality you have. And so I took one last year. And when I took one last year, I had an avoidant personality. I can't remember the exact type of avoidant, but I took one this year and it had changed. Interestingly, it had changed now to fearful avoidant. So fearful avoidant is typically a person who emotionally is scared of letting people go. I think last year was from carefree attendant, but there was a name that was used to describe like somebody who didn't care. So what this test was trying to say was that in 1 year, I had moved from somebody who emotional attachment style is to not be attached to people simply because I did not care, to a type of person who is not attaching to people because of fear. And I saw this test and I'm like, wow. It's interesting because I don't think I took out any time specifically to work on them, to work on that aspect. I just took the test because I wanted to take the test, right? I took the test and I kept the knowledge. And I guess that I have met new persons and, life has changed and the shape of everything has changed. But we are not here to discuss attachment test. We'll discuss that some other time. But yeah, it was love month, right? In fact, so on February 14, it was a Saturday. I went somewhere. I didn't get home till almost 11 p.m. Now, sidetrack, I like coming home at night. I'm such a night worker. But that day, I spent over 2 hours in traffic. That's not something that happens regularly in the city I'm in, because traffic hours are very, specific. For 3 to 6:30 p.m. in some areas, 3 to 8 p.m. in some other areas. Then mornings, 7 to 8:30. So usually, the time of traffic build up, I'm usually either at home or at work already. So I'm never in motion. So I almost never have to deal with traffic. It's very rare occasions. But this one was weird for 2 reasons. One, it was late at night when people should be sleeping. And then 2, it was on a Saturday. Saturday, that late at night, people should be in their house preparing for church. But guys, it was Valentine's Saturday. Oh my God. The restaurants, the bars, the clubs, they were full. Packed full to the brim. I'm not joking. You were packed full to the brim. You had people everywhere. I was just laughing because that's the best emotion I could give. And then I took some time to think about it like I would always do. You know me now. You know how we do these things. And then I discovered everybody wants to be loved. Even the single people that act like as if to say relationship people are disturbing them in church. You know, like, I beg you, me too, we will marry. You know, everyone wants love. I want love. I want to. You want love. You want to be loved. The words of a popular Nigerian Afrobeat artist says, if love is a crime, then I'm ready to be wanted. Everybody wants love. There are only a few things that I think we don't talk about. Most especially while dating and while married. Now I can't talk of while married since I cannot exactly prophesy or speak about the things that I'm not experiencing. See what I did there? Clock it. Right? But while dating, there are just some few things. Interestingly, the thing I found that is, we want to be loved. We just have very wrong ideologies about love. Now, hear me. There is something about us that wants to be at the forefront. It's a human and societal thing where you want to be, you are at the center of every single thing in your life. Ask the average person, or just hear them speak about the world, about making plans, for certain stuff, and you come to this interesting conclusion that the average person just wants to be at the center of their life. And it's not a bad position, right? It's just that true love, the kind that some of us actually seek, does not allow you to be there. I'll explain further. The way we require to love somebody, because interestingly, the problem is most times not loving ourselves. The problem is allowing people to love us just as much as we think we want, which is very interesting because sometimes we do not even know what we want, right? Is that we are just at the center of our lives. I'm thinking about it because I'm thinking of all the times where I have had to love someone and I did not feel as loved as I should have. I'm thinking about it, right? And it felt like I was putting them first and they were putting themselves first, and I was always feeling neglected. You are trying as much as possible to do every single thing to be by the book so that a person sees how much importance they add to you with the intention and hope that you get the same experience. But it's interesting because they're not doing that for you. And so at some point you just get fed up. And so I stopped. And I decided, you know what? I think I enjoy my company alone. And so I started this thing where I completely written off about love. A part of me still choruses that into my hearing sometimes, right? I think nobody can love you just as much as you want. And it's the thing about the fact that we do not understand that love as a concept hates selfishness. I kid you not, think about it. Every dating relationship where and you say, oh my God, those two guys are just perfect for each other. If you've even been in one, check it. It's the one where you spent your time trying to please the person you were with and they spent their time trying to please you. It's not the one where you went in with the intention to protect yourself and put yourself first. It's a very funny thing, right? Because the truth is, nobody really knows how to love you if you do not tell them how. So you have to show them how. But at the same time, you don't show them how by leading yourself forefront. You show them how by loving them and allowing them see you. I'm just thinking about it it's like a whole page of a new book just popped wide open in my head. You only love someone if they teach you how to love them. But the thing is, it's a slippery slope because somebody can in the bid to teach you how to love them now put themselves first and love themselves more than they should love you. And so you think they are teaching you. No, but they're just being very selfish. It's interesting because the way love works is that love, proper love, good love, the one that has all of the emotions, all the mushiness that you see, not just the ones that social media presents to you. Because I'm finding that that's another thing. There's something I'm just discovering, that every single Christian couple who has had, in quote, some sort of kingdom marriage, kingdom weddings, because that's what our generation calls them. It seems like everything is such a Cinderella story. You know the Cinderella stories, right? The Cinderella stories are some of the things I'm ashamed to say in my life, that I used to be a guy who had knowledge of the Cinderella stories. Cinderella, Baby and the Beast, and all of this stuff. I used to be a guy that knew them. Now I'm a guy that still knows them, right? You know how one of the things I loved about those stories are that they were picture perfect. Everything was perfect. In a world where everything should be perfect, the Cinderella story makes so much sense. But the older you grew, the more I found out that Cinderella love only makes sense for children. You know, one of the things about Cinderella love is the guy is rich. He doesn't have to pay for anything. Money is there. You know when that happens? When you don't have to worry about finance? When you are a child. Do you see? So the Cinderella love story happens when you're a kid. But I digress to the whole Cinderella thing. And I'm finding that it's like every kingdom, kingdom couple, kingdom wedding has some sort of straight line that you can use to cut almost all of them. The way they met up is so perfect. The marriage is going so perfect. They have a YouTube channel where they are dishing out love lessons. Whether or not that is good is not what we are here to decide. I have some personal beliefs, right? I don't think everybody should have a YouTube channel as a couple. Not necessarily because of a lack of water experience, but I just think that some marriages, just give it time for the big thing that will happen and that will make you guys really understand each other happen before you give us a YouTube channel. Why you married yesterday and you have a YouTube channel next 2 weeks? What's going on? Not necessarily a thing of experience, like I said, but for some persons, get a YouTube channel that quickly. For some other persons, do not. And also, I think that we are in an information age, so everybody is trying to put out content, right? So for some persons, this thing is just vibes. It's not even edifying, really, like it should. Once again, I digress. I'm sorry I'm digressing too much. That's because I missed you all. But I'm saying that it just seems like everything is perfect. The meetup is perfect, the guy is perfect, the girl is perfect. In fact, I remember someone asking a question during one of the Q&A sessions this month. And it was something along the lines, because it felt like everything seemed perfect. And that's the thing. But it's like when you turn off your screens and you step into reality once again, you discover how unrealistic these things are. So like I was saying, you need someone to teach you how to love them. But for them to effectively teach you, they cannot stand in the highest point of their lives. Which is interestingly, because in a teacher and student relationship, the teacher stands as lead and the student stands as a follower. But not in love. Well, even when that happens in love, you cannot remain perpetually there. The way it happens, I think I have observed a lot in love, is that you seek to put that person first. It says, when you've put them first, you stand behind them. They put you first and they stand behind you. It is that way that true love happens. And it's like, love is like the only place where to effectively teach each other how to love each other, we both can't be teachers. There can be no teacher. We both have to be students. Just think about it with me for a second. All the times where you've been in a relationship, where you've been in a relationship where you've told the person, because the way I am is this, the way I am is that, this is this. Have you noticed how sometimes it looks like they're not listening? They're trying to, but it's not working. But all the times where it looks like you were madly over heels for this person, you were doing absolutely everything they wanted, you were anticipating their needs and doing it right, it seemed that too it was better. Now I'm sorry if the relationship broke up, because relationships will always break up. But I'm just saying, the true love, the real love that we want, is the love where we all want to feel wanted. We all want to feel wanted. I want to feel wanted, you want to feel wanted. Now that's the problem for me. Because the way I am, I typically behave like I want the world to move on if I'm not there. Right? I don't know that I want to be wanted, but I don't think I want to be wanted to that point. I just don't know. Does that mean I will never be loved? I know it sounds like I'm stretching, but what then does it take? What more do I have to drop? Guys, I do not have a moral lesson on this one. I just have questions. What then? Oh, and also, I think sometimes it makes sense to me. It's like there's a certain level of sitting down to think about. Which is one of the things I'm scared that social media is doing badly to us, by the way. We do not sit down so much with our thoughts anymore. Because sometimes when you sit down with your thoughts, your mind just grasps around for different straws and grabs one eventually. I think it makes sense why scripture says that love, faith, and hope, and love is the greatest. I am trying to see the connection between faith and love. That if you found the right person, you will anticipate, which is faith, essentially hoping. Not hoping, but you believe the best in them. Okay, hope is actually the right concept. While you keep hoping that they will keep on forever. Because you're not really promised tomorrow. Guys, we're not promised tomorrow. So when you find real love today, put yourself on the back seat. Step down, give the driver's seat to somebody else and allow someone drive you. You can't be the driver and then decides. The driver never decides how the driving experience ever goes. It has never been his job, right? The driver doesn't decide how the riding experience goes. It's the passenger's job. So if you want to have a good experience, get down. Give someone the car keys. Let them drive you. Guys, that's our episode. It's like coming up on the next one. It's Talking Joe. Bye.